We are playing John Turbo Living End, similar to the other Turbo Living End build we played, but this is using John colors. Bloodbraid Marauder is used to cascade into a Living End. We have a few cyclers such as Architects of Will and Oliphant, Street Wraith, Troll of Castle Doom. We also have Overlord, since we have access to black. Overlord allows us to fill up our graveyard, because we do need to hit Delirium to have Bloodbraid Marauder cascade into Living End. Overlord could also possibly fill the graveyard with creatures that we need. Ideally, we mill an Enduring Courage into the graveyard. That would allow our creatures that would come back with Living End to have haste and +2/+0. There's one Dragon Lord who does the same thing. We have two creatures that also could act as lands, Disciple of Freelis and Pinnacle Monk. Could possibly mill over these and then grab them out of the graveyard with an Overlord in case you are strapped for land. There's 4 Malevolent Rumble to also dig, 4 Cathartic Pyre, which allows us to discard cards out of our hand, possibly deal with a creature or planeswalker by dealing 3 damage to it. And Grisly Salvage also fills up our graveyard. Mana base is using a few Surveillance and a Boseiju to deal with some possible artifacts that mess up our plan, and some fetch lands. The sideboard has 4 defense grid, mostly for control matchups, or decks that play Consigned to Memory to counter the Delirium trigger. 3 Fairy Macabre to deal with graveyards. Could take creatures of your opponents. Could take creatures out of your opponent's graveyards. 1 Force of Vigor, 2 Foundation Breaker, 2 Harvester of Misery against go wide decks, such as Energy, and 3 Obsidian Charmaw that could be some nice hate against big mana decks such as Strom, Eldrazi. Alright, let's play. So here we have 1 land. We do have Street Wraith. We are on the draw. We have 2 looks at a land. Let's keep. Surveil land. Pinning another land. Oliphant, nice pickup. We'll first surveil and see what's on top. A land, that's all we need, so we keep that on top. See if we want to take additional damage off of the Street Wraith before we recycle it. You can always discard it with Cathartic Pyre. So there'd been another land. Can go Overlord. We can keep Cathartic Pyre up. Also go with a Surveil land using Oliphant. I like that better because our opponent didn't do much so far. So we'll go with a Ruckus Theater. And Surveil. Another cathartic fire. I think another type in the yard is more useful for Bloodbraid Marauder. Our opponent seems to be on living end as well. That's interesting. Cycles a Street Wraith. Four cycles a Generous End. Next turn we'll go Overlord. Keep the Street Wraith up. Flash Portico. Sure. Ardent Plea, so they probably have a Cascader in their hand. Let's just go Overlord, Foothills. They can Subtlety this. They can Force of Negation it. Cast it with Impending. See what we get. We do pick up a land. We have enough lands, I think. Could pick up an Oliphant and Mountain Cycle again. I think we'll just leave him in the graveyard for now. Pass the turn. Standard Living End plays main board endurances, so our graveyard might get emptied out. That's why we will hold on to the Street Wraith, so we at least have one creature in our yard. In case our opponent pulls a Living End. Still don't have Delirium. There's Endurance. Pitching a Shardless Agent, okay. Probably targets us, yep. That's fine. Ardent Plea, okay. Let's see if we have another Surveil land here that we could pick up. We do. Living End as well. Yeah, we will graveyard that. And then just cycle a Street Wraith as well. We get at least one creature back. We're picking up another Living End. What are the odds? Alright. Forgot about the Endurance, so we lose out on 2 types now. But with Cathartic Fire, we can bin an Enduring Courage and a sorcery that should keep. Yeah, that should be enough types. So we'll just attack with Street Wraith. See what they do. Cast Cathartic Fire. See what happens. Okay. Sure. 4 cards in hand, maybe a Force of Negation. Hopefully not. Let's discard 2 cards. encourage a living end, and we should have 4 types in the yard. Opponent could always counter our living end. We'll see, we're dead anyway. Otherwise, take 7, 12, 15, 19. So if this gets countered, so be it. Cast a living end. Alright, that worked. Nice. Now we just sit back and see what our opponent is going to do. Do have a food token and an ardent plea. They're going to cascade again. Sure. They do get their endurance back, fortunately. Alright, we have another Bloodbraid Marauder. So we could rumble, fill the graveyard, go Grizzly Salvage, Bloodbraid Marauder. Yeah, sounds good. Opponents targeted us with endurance, making us put our living ends back into our library, which is good. So we need to keep green. Grizzly Salvage black. Yeah, let's just get a forest. We'll go rumble. And just put an overgrown tomb into our hand. Our token gets +2/+1 and haste. We will cast the Grizzly Salvage. And take the land. Or we can take another Bloodbraid Marauder. Let's do that, just in case. And we will go with a living end. Our creatures now get haste if they come back. So if this resolves, we will win. And it does. Alright, haste, 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 haste. We will deal 4 to our opponent. Look at their library. And we may sacrifice another creature, gain some life and draw cards. I don't think we should because we are dealing 11 +6 here, plus a bit more. Well, yeah, our opponent dies. Let's see what they are going to draw. Okay, put the island on top. 4 to opponent, and opponent dies. Yep. Opponent scoops. Let's see against living end. Fairy Macabre is pretty good. Get some creatures out of their yard for free. Fence Grid protects our combo. Opponent may play counter magic. Yeah, I think the only thing we can bring in is the Fairy Macabre. We will trim 2 living ends probably, because we don't really need to combo off ourselves that much. Just run this back. Oh, we're at 61 cards. No. It is what it is. 1 additional card in our deck. Shouldn't matter too much on the play, on the draw, sorry. No lands, small. Bunch of lands will bottom the living end as they go. First Surveil. Get red mana. And then we need red and blue mana. Well, let's see what we draw. Okay, we definitely need that red mana, so let's get it. Opponent bind a subtlety. And let's see what we can get here. So red mana wise, we already have black. Oh, we'll just get a. We have enough green too. Let's get a Ruckus Theater then. Sure. Let's see. Surveil 1 Street Wraith into our graveyard. Pinnacle Monk. I think we'll just play our Forest and say go. Can always discard the Enduring Courage and the Architect's Will. Waker of Waves. Let's see. Bin's a living end. 4 cycles a generous end, so no Cascade on this turn. Gets a Hedge Maze. Oh, they're not playing the Hedge Maze, alright. Let's just cast this. And bin the Architects and Enduring Courage. And we're drawing the Marauder. Also have a Fairy Macabre, very nice. We'll keep that. Grisly Salvage. I think we should keep that. In case our opponent empties out their graveyard. So we could go Cascade into Living End right now, but our opponent has some pretty good creatures in the yard, so let's not do that. We'll keep Grisly Salvage up or Cathartic Pyre, and we can always discard Fairy Macabre in case they do Living End. We'll probably take their Waker of Waves then. Their Wakers of Waves. Bin's another Street Wraith. The Fairy. That's unfortunate. Of course, we will just go Grisly Salvage and see what we get. We will put Blood Crypt into our hands. can deal 3 to Teferi with Cathartic Fire, so if they don't take, Teferi dies. They don't. We will just hardcast this under Encourage. To attack the fairy. If it dies, then our creatures get haste when they come back. That's a nice benefit as well. Hopefully they will downtick, and then we can just kill the fairy next turn. If they don't have any counter magic, that is. Cycle Street Wraith. Opponent has a few more creatures in their yard compared to us. Swamp cycling on Street Wraith is relevant here because we have swamps. Place a land. Fetches. Surveils. You still have mana open for their Cascaders. They're probably going for it. Yep. That is fine. Let's see. So they cascade into Living End. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, we should get rid of their Waker waves. So we'll just do that right now. So they don't get their biggest creatures back. Nice. Our creatures gain haste. Doesn't really matter how we stack this. Now do we want to architect our own hand or our opponent's hand? Still have to deal with the fairy here. Can attack the fairy, get rid of that, and then Bloodbraid ourselves. We do have Delirium. I think we just want to mess up with their hand. Let's see. Shardless Windcaller Haven. We'll put a Living End on top. So this is what our opponent will draw next turn. Just skip the stack. Opponent will probably bounce one of our creatures under Encourage, perhaps. That's good, because then we can just kill the fairy on the spot. The troll, okay. That's fine. Go to our turn. We can have him kill as many creatures as possible. Swamp cycle. Yeah, that works. We'll first try to kill the fairy, see what happens before we attack. Let's do green, red here. Force of negation, okay. Then we will probably hold back on attacking. Because we can't really living end, we just need to block, fill our graveyard. Pitch of subtlety, okay. Don't have delirium anyway. Can attack with Enduring Courage. Get that on the field. And then one-shot our opponent next turn. Because these Marauders would be 7/7s each. We do have a food token. If we block the biggest creatures, we would take 6. It's possible. I think that works. So we'll just attack with Enduring Courage. We'll swing at the fairy. They will block. They have to block. And then this dice comes back. Yep, that's great. Next turn we can cast 2 Bloodbraid Marauders. They are drawing a Windcaller Haven next turn, so that's fine. We'll just play this tapped, I think. And then we can Swamp Cycle the Troll. Let's see. Okay, I'll take the fairy. We can block the Street Wraith. They are cycling the Windcaller Haven they drew. They will draw a Shardless Agent, which is fine. They do get to scry 1. Let's see if they scry Shardless Agent to the bottom or not. No, they keep Shardless Agent on top. We can always cast another Living End. Okay. So, we will block the Generous End. We will block the Curator. You can block this creature. That's flying, of course. So we can't even block. So we're taking 6, 4, taking 16 here. Alright. So be it. One life left. We can Shardless now, but they don't. Let's Swamp Cycle this. Get a Surveil Land. No, that's not a good pickup. Just play the Surveil Land. Another land. No, thank you. Let's play this. Comes pretty big. You could living end, but it will fizzle. So no. We could hold back. Attack. Very. Bank on a living end, but they do have a shardless agent, so they can living end themselves. Let's just put more power into play. See what happens. Cycle, wind color, Haven, looking for that subtlety. They do get to scry. They bottom a card, that's good. Draw a card. I don't think they have any answers. They might flash in an endurance. But they still take lethal. Cycle a street wraith. Dealing more damage to themselves. They bottom that card. We won't play living end. Alright, opponent scoops it up. We are on the draw. We have a 4-land hand. Turn 2 we could go Rumble or Overlord. I think this is a keep for Surveil, depending on what we draw. What we're up against. Interesting. Just go District. Enduring Courage, bin that, and pass the turn. We are giving away information this way, unfortunately, but opponent didn't go for a Surveil land. Does that mean they have it in their hand, or they just don't play any Surveil lands? Opponent is ramping up. Seems to be some Eldrazi land or something. No, I don't know. Grisly Salvage. Overlord digs deeper. Malevolent Rumble gives us another mana. Could also go Boseiju and get rid of their Sprawl. I think Overlord is the best here. Because if we get into a longer game, this will tick down, enter the battlefield at some point. Let's see, Oliphant, Street Wraith. Oliphant is a tap land. Don't really need that. Don't want the Street Wraith either. I'll just leave it. Say go. Down take Overlord. Next turn we'll go Rumble. Then we cannot go Grisly Salvage. Maybe we'll go Grisly Salvage, Surveil, Shieldred. I see, I can deal 3 damage to it. That won't really work. Our Cycler deals 2 to us now. think we should rumble. See what we get. If we pick up a Bloodbraid Marauder, we could possibly Living End, and we don't. So we'll just take the land, and then play a Wooded Foothills and Surveil. Also Boseiju possibly. Each player draws a card and then discards a card. Dealing 2 extra damage. At least we can block with our spawn. Just need to find a Cascader here. Tear Asunder. Okay. Exiling our Overlord. It's unfortunate. They are attacking. Could go Cathartic Pyre. Draw 2 cards. Take a lot of damage. It's about as much damage as if we would block. What would we put in the yard though? Architects. Yeah, we can't fetch a mountain though. So we take an additional damage. Yeah, I think we should just let this happen. Just surveil. See what we get. Do we want more green? More red? I think we need green black for Grizzly, so let's do that. Troll can go. Bloodbraid. Okay. Grizzly. What was out here? We do have a mountain. Maybe we want to tap Commercial District for green. Yeah, we have a forest and a mountain, so we want to tap Commercial District for the green mana. In case we pick up another Overlord. So, don't hit anything here. Fortunately. Get a Ruckus. Try to stay alive. Yeah, we'll do that. So, see what we draw next turn. Overlord. Yeah, that could work. We'll just cast the Overlord. Hopefully find a Bloodbraid. And call it a game. Could have felled 2 Cathartic Pyres up to deal 6 here. We'll see. We are off green now. Boseiju is offline. We can block. If our creatures come back, we are one-shotting our opponent. Because they all get haste and +2/+0. Yeah, we do have to block here. Can discard an Architects. I think we should. Prioritize our life total here. Yeah. That's fine. Doesn't matter. Okay. Can also influence our draws with their land. Could go architects. I don't want to take another 2. We'll cast this Overlord and see what happens. Again, since we have a forest and mountain, I will, well, we can even hardcast Overlord. Then the effect would still be there. I think we should go try to find a Bloodbraid Marauder. So we'll tap this land and this one. Next turn we're dead. Let's see. There it is. And could even cycle the architects, but it's better not to play a forest and go Marauder. And resolve a living end. We could have an endurance, which would be really bad for us. At least we get rid of the Shieldred. Okay. And then we die. Now, right? No. Deal 6 to us. Okay. So we win. Could even, well, we could have Mountain Cycled the Oliphant, but this is enough. Let's go like this. We'll deal 4 to our friend here. Friend scoops it up. Alright. So probably bringing Graveyard Hate, bringing the Foundation Breakers for that, and Force a Figure. Foundation Breaker could also destroy their enchantment that makes their land tap for another mana. Charma. They might fill their own graveyard. Very Macabre. It might be on Bowmasters. Harvester could be useful. Think we could go down on the Street Wraith. Because if we use this with Shieldred in play, it hurts us. Maybe go down as Adversary. Maybe we should go down a few Living Ends because they might bring in the Surgical Extraction. So we'll keep these 2 Street Wraiths in then. Just try to resolve them or discard them before, cycle them before Shieldred is in play. Okay, we are on the draw, of course. We have 2 Street Wraiths, no land. Could go risk it. but I don't think that's worth it. Alright, we do have one land, we do have a troll. We have two Blood Raid Marauders. I think we might only need one. So let's keep this. Enduring Courage can be discarded to Cathartic Pyre, so that could be something. Let's first cycle this Street Wraith. There's two of them. In case they have a possible Bowmaster's turn too. Maybe we'll pick up a nicer land too. Try to keep the Boseiju for any graveyard hate. Opponent does not pass priority. Don't know what they could have. About 5 minutes behind the clock. Enduring Courage, that's not a good pickup. Cycle again, taking some damage here. Alright, Overgrown Tomb, that is good. Let's just shock that in. We can use our troll. We're taking massive damage here, but we'll get a like a red land, Blood Crypt, so we can go Grisly Salvage at the end of their turn, and then Bloodbraid Marauder turn 3. This is fine. Blood Crypt, Oliphant. Just one card type in graveyard. Hopefully Grisly Salvage. We'll change that to 4 and just shock that in and say go. Don't have a hasty enabler in the yard. And our opponent might have an endurance. Play a forest and Shieldred again. That is fine. Could possibly a Living End already. Go Grisly Salvage. We do have Delirium. I think we can all keep this. Well, we can go with the land. Surveil. Yeah, let's do that. Take the land. So we have Delirium. Can still flash in an endurance. Okay. But at least we wipe their board. So let's just surveil here. Possibly getting another type in the yard. Maybe double red is nice for Enduring Courage. Double green is also nice. We'll get a commercial district. Land, we'll leave that on top. And we'll go for it. Turn 3 Living End. Quite a number of creatures in the yard. There we go. Of course, we didn't count on Overlord. We'll just leave that Enduring Courage in the yard. Thank you. And Bloodbraid Marauder resolves. Alright. So we have 2 Street Wraiths. that cannot be blocked by our opponent. It's pretty good. We do have the living end again. We do have to deal with the shield red somehow. But I think our opponent is dead because we are going to attack for 12, 15, 21, 26, and then the Oliphant trigger. So that should do it. Opponent is thinking, but if they do not have a damnation, then it's game over. Opponent fetches. Playing a basic. Casts a shield red, so we win. This does absolutely nothing. Let's just attack. So these three cannot be blocked. 2 street race, 1 troll. What are we giving trample here? Oliphant deals 1. 13. If they block here, they're still alive. Probably give the Overlord haste, trample, because they probably wouldn't block the Marauder, otherwise they are dead. And then they would take 2 plus 6 is 8, 11, 17, 20, 23. We can pick up a Foundation Breaker. It's not really relevant, so we'll leave those in the yard. Let's see. If they block the Marauder, they're dead. If they block the Overlord, they are dead. If they block the Oliphant, they are dead. They cannot block the Troll, so they take damage and they are dead. We are on the play. We have a 1-lander. No cycler to possibly get another land, almost. We now have a fetch land and an Oliphant. That is good. We have a Bloodbraid Marauder. We do have a Street Wraith. I think we have to bin the Enduring Courage here. So we'll go with it Foothills. And then fetch Shock to get a mountain with Oliphant. You could also go Street Wraith, but I first like to see what I'm up against. Goblins. It's probably a good matchup for us. Let's see, we need to get black and green. So let's get an Overgrown Tomb, and then we'll just get a basic mountain to save some life here, since we also have to pay 2 life to cycle Street Wraith. And we'll go Overlord. Nice. We'll go Overlord. Oh. We will go Overlord. And hopefully get Delirium. Let's see what we get. We do have Delirium here. Can go with a Street Wraith, cycle it again. I think that's fine. Do have to look at a land ban. Yeah, let's do that. So we still keep Delirium here. Just cycle 2 Street Wraiths to find another land so we can go Rumble and 2 Bloodbraid Marauder Living End. Let's first see what our opponent is doing. Shocking in a Blood Crypt. Okay. Playing a Goblin and another one. It's fine. So we board wipe soon. If we don't find a land, we could always go Bloodbraid anyway. Don't really care about Skurk Prospector in their yard. This is a surveil land. It's not what we want. That is good. So now we can play out the Boseiju. Fill our graveyard a bit more. We will take the Stomping Ground. And then we will go Bloodbraid Marauder. And let's see what kind of triggers we're getting. We can stack their draws. So we will give them this thing, and then Cavern on top. Alright, we don't have an haste enabler, so have to wait until the next turn. But we probably have lethal on board. Let's see. Opponent is thinking, but it's likely over. Goblin Ringleader. Mog War Marshal to get an extra blocker. Don't think it matters. Street Wraiths cannot be blocked. The Trolls. Deadly Oliphant Trample. Unstable Amulet. Okay. Plays a Horde Master. No, doesn't do anything. Opponent scoops it up. Alright. Let's see how we want to sideboard here. They likely bring in some graveyard hate. Harvester is nice. Give all their creatures -2/-2 at the end of turn. I think we can go down 1 Living End. On Dragon Lord. Architects of Will are also not super good. Let's just do it like this. So we have red and green mana. Cathartic Pyre to dig, Oliphant. I think this is good enough. With the Oliphant we can get black mana. And we have all our colors. Let's see. It's an odd combination of cards in this deck, but it works somehow. Pithing Needle. That's interesting because we don't really have activated abilities in our deck. We have cards with activated abilities. What are they naming here? Fetched and shocked to play this needle. And they named Oliphant. Okay. It's okay. We'll just cycle the Street Wraith. Cycle another one. Draw a living end. Just go Thornspire Verge and say go. So they are stopping our Oliphant from land cycling. I don't think it matters that much. I can just put it in the graveyard with Cathartic Fire. Can't go Overlord now, but that's alright. We can go Foundation Breaker, destroying Pithing Needle. Yeah, that's probably the best line. So I want to get access to black mana here. Tap for green, please. Yep. So then next turn we have access to black mana. Can cast Overlord. Possibly get a Bloodbraid Marauder. Did lose some life in the process, but it should be good. Fetch and shock again. They're gonna hit us for 2. It's alright. Troll is nice too. They probably haven't. Well, they've seen the troll, but they probably didn't think of it. Let's just go with the Oliphant. Have to get a Blood Crypt here. And shock it in. Go Overlord. We are dealing ourselves quite some damage here. Hopefully we can go Living End next turn. And we cannot. We can get a Street Wraith. Dealing ourselves 2 more. Nah, that's probably not good enough. But it's free, so let's just take it. See what they do next turn. We have enough creatures in our yard. They also come back with haste, which is good. Okay, they sacrifice a goblin for 2 black mana. Shielder it, okay. And we'll just cycle the Street Wraith now. Probably a sideboard card. Don't think this is standard in Goblin deck. Should have attacked first, of course, for 1 extra point of damage. Alright, this is not super good with our Pyre. So if we don't find anything of our fire, then we're dead. We can live by fetching once, casting Enduring Courage, or just go with a bloodthirsty adversary and surveil. I think that might be the best line. Just have a blocker, and we will just... No, we won't pay this. You can also cycle Troll, but I'd rather keep it in case they empty out our graveyard. I will hold this back to block Shieldred. Running low here. We take 1, go down to 6, and 2 of the draw. So we can only discard 1 with Cathartic Fire. Now we cannot discard anything with Cathartic Fire, so that's no good. Yeah, we dealt ourselves too much damage with the Street Wraiths and the Fetch, or the Shock, Blood Crypt. Unlock the Shieldred, of course. Go down to 4. Don't think we play basic Swamp here. Opponent plays another Goblin. So this is gonna be our final draw step. If we don't get a Bloodbraid Marauder, then it's over for us. Could have fetched before and dealt 3 to one of the goblins, but I don't think that would have been useful. So we have black mana already. Ruckus Theater. Probably get a commercial district. And I'll just forest cycle this, or swamp cycle this, to reduce the chances of hitting a land here. I'll just take this or Underground Mortuary. Foundation Breaker will do us no good. Well, let's see. Grizzly Salvage, that could work. Is this it then? Let's see. And we don't hit it. Right. I don't see any other outs. We will concede. Yeah, the Street Wraith was doing too much damage, was dealing too much damage. So they boarded in a Pithing Needle and possibly the Shieldred. They can sack some goblins, but they are no match for us, for our creatures. We even want to keep these Foundation Breakers in. I think we'll just run it back like this. Keep a better 7 on the play. Two Surveil lands. 1 Shock land. We have a Rumble. Yeah, let's keep this. We'll go Underground Mortuary. Hopefully rumble into a Bloodbraid Marauder. Overgrown Tomb. No, we don't need another land. A Y arc. Okay. Enduring courage. Maybe want to go cathartic fire now. No, let's not do that. They don't have a shield or online anytime soon. Yeah, let's put the mountain into our hands. We can mountain cycle the Oliphant. Or use the spawn for a cathartic fire. Probably discarding the disciple and enduring courage. We do have delirium by then, but we still don't have a cascader. Are they going to attack? Next turn we could possibly expect a shield rid. Okay. So we'll just hold the spawn back. Harvester of Misery. We could kill one of their mana dorks. I think I just want to go discard 2 cards, see what we're drawing. We have a mountain in case we draw a Bloodbraid Marauder. We'll discard the Enduring Courage and the Disciple. We have a Street Wraith. I think we should just go Rumble now. Rumble again. Hopefully hitting a Bloodbraid Marauder. Still no Bloodbraid Marauder. No, we won't put anything into our hands. Alright. Unlucky. I've seen 20 cards so far. We're at 18 life though. We can't mountain cycle for a mountain. Okay, can deal quite some damage here. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7, and they can stop us from. Well, they can put their goblins into the yard. In case we go Living End, we'll just block. Before damage, mountain cycle here. See what we can get. Could get a stomping ground and try to go Harvester next turn. Just hardcast it. That could work. Let's do that. And I want to see what we're drawing before I use Street Wraith. We have Delirium online. And we draw a Marauder. Perfect. So now we could Shock in a Stomping Ground. Discard Harvester to even get another one into our yard, but I think we'll just, let's first Surveil here. Another Bloodbraid. Yeah, we'll take that. Just in case we have to Living End again somehow. Here we go. We have haste too, so we will deal a lot of damage here. and our opponent can sack their creatures. But if they come back, they will all die because of Harvester of Misery. Your opponent goes to discard. They do have the effect of Runfeld. That's fine. I think we will kill them, probably. 5, 7, yeah, opponent is dead. We'll just get this stack here. Opponent dealing 1, 2, 3, 7 damage. Doesn't matter. So opponent will be dead next turn, or this turn actually. Okay, here we go. Drained for 7. So we get this back. Stack the Enduring Courage. Triggers. May sacrifice another creature. Gain life. I don't think it really matters. We don't deal. Probably don't have lethal here. We have 12. No, we do. Our creatures get -2, -2, so. We will deal 16. Oh, they can do this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They can't get us, but this could have been a problem. They can only drain us for 7. That's good. And they do gain life, so we have to do some math here. We can kill them. So we're gonna deal 12, 17, 20, 23, and then 2 Oliphant triggers. Yeah, we will kill our opponents. So we don't have to gain life with Disciple. Opponent is 1 short. We could sacrifice the Enduring Courage. Gain 3, draw 3. Yeah, let's just do that just in case. Okay. Upgrade doesn't die. Okay, then we have lethal for sure. Alright. We'll give this trample and this trample, why not? Opponent is dead. Could have had us with the Sling Gang Lieutenant though. Alright. On the play. We have a Living End in hand. 1 land. Oliphant. Do have a Cathartic Fire to fill the graveyard. Get rid of Living End. Yeah, let's try this. wooded foothills, and pass the turn. Opponent cycles a street wraith. Be living end as well. Let's open up the graveyard. Play a Crypt of Academe. That can net them a lot of mana if they keep dumping creatures into the graveyard. And it's bad for us because we want to living end. We don't want to see creatures in their graveyard. We do find a street wraith. I think we'll just shock this in, taking a lot of damage, and then see what's gonna happen next. We have at least one creature in our graveyard. We do have Delirium if we can resolve this Karthik. Fire and discard Courage and Living End. They play an Overlord. It's not good. Let's see. 2 Overlords. Go with the Street Wraith. This is bad if we living end this way. Let's just cycle this. Find a forest. Discard 2 cards. Discard the Courage and living end. Find another living end. To find an Overlord. Just play that out. See what we find. Maybe a Marauder. We don't. Can go with a Street Wraith. We're 13 life. I think we might take the Oliphant and just mount and cycle it. So we'll play the Forest, mount and cycle the Oliphant. Opponent cycle Street Wraith. Can also pick up a basic mountain with Oliphant. A Boggart Trawler. There goes our graveyard. Now they decide not to cast it. Going to activate the Crypt of Academe. There's Boggart Trawler. Yeah, that's very unfortunate. Luckily we do have 2 Cathartic Pyres, but we lose a lot of creatures here. A Swamp Cycle, a Troll. Find a Swamp. They don't play the Swamp. Okay. Guess we will go Ruckus Theater. There's no basic swamps in the deck. Oh, basic mountains. Thornspire Verge. Try filling our graveyard. Just surveil. Do get hit. The Trawler next turn. Let's see. Another land. Just bin that. Hold up a Cathartic Pyre. See what our opponent is going to do now. Attack us for 3, sure. We will discard the Tomb and the Living End. Souls of the Lost. Okay. They sack their swamp. Sure. Could have sacked their overlord for another creature in their yard. They have another Souls of the Lost. They did sack overlord, so if we don't find anything we will die. Hollow Marauder, each discards a card. Okay. So just fire off this Cathart. Fire now. See if we can find anything with a mana value above 4. Living End, Overgrown Bone. There it is. We will discard the Oliphant, Swamp Cycle the Troll. Hope there's more swamps in the deck. Do have Delirium. There's an Underground Mortuary. We can't really deal with their graveyard. So we just have to accept it in case we do Living End. Christie, Salvage. Yeah, let's try it. Here's the Bloodbraid Marauder. Kind of a sad graveyard compared to our opponent's graveyard. Don't think we would survive if we don't Living End. Let's go into the graveyard and we'll go for it. Yep. We will deal 4. Street Wraith. They do get to pick up some creatures. And we have to sack a creature. Probably sack his bloodthirsty adversary. And we'll pass the turn. So they probably attack with the Overlord. We will block with the Oliphants, I guess. We have to. Yep. Now let's first see what they get. Hard to see what our opponent is getting out of the yard. Can't really block Troll. Maybe we should go block their Overlords instead of their Troll. Only have 4 blockers. Opponent has a lot of mana, access to a lot of mana. There are 16. black creatures in their graveyard, so they can likely cast everything. So we might have to Living End again. This troll is deadly next turn. $19 mana. Okay. Have to sack a creature. To Bloodbraid Marauder since it cannot block. Another one. Okay. Bogger Trawler. Yeah, we can't recover from this. We will scoop. If we don't really have any graveyard hate we could bring in, then it's game over for us. We only have Fairy Macabres. Foundation Breakers deal with their overlords. Force of Figure as well. I think we can go down one Living End, one Bloodthirsty. Street Wraith is nice, but it will cost us 2 life. It does have Swamp Walk. Maybe one more Living End. One Salvage. Two Street Wraith. I get to exile our graveyard all the time with a Bogger Trawler. It's just a bad matchup. Just keep this. Try to go with a Commercial District. Stitcher Supplier, possibly milling a bunch of creatures in the yard. Yep, lots of creatures. Hero's Reveal. Commercial District for Rumble. See what we draw. Another Rumble. No, we will bin that. And no land. Cycle. Shouldn't have kept the one lander. I think we are dead. One turn behind now. Go with an Overlord. We'll just get rid of these two creatures before our opponent can get it back. Let's see what they mill over. Souls of the Lost and a Street Wraith. That's unfortunate. Go with the Souls of the Lost. We'll just hold up Fairy Macabre. See, that is a tap land. Just cycle this. Get a Ruckus Theater. Really need another land. That is another land. Let's keep it. And we will pass. So we could go Rumble, get Delirium, Bloodbraid, a Swamp Cycle, a Troll. We will get rid of their Troll and Souls of the Lost probably. Discard a Stitcher supplier. Getting even more stuff in their yard. Okay, Overlord still impending. Play a Maseju. Go Rumble. Rumble. Could also go Cathartic Fire, but I think we'll leave these into the yard. We will Fairy Macabre, their souls, their troll, and then go Marauder. First living end out of the two that we have left. You get haste. We could just start swinging to exile. That is possibly enough because we deal 18. Yeah, we'll just swing with everything. We can give, let's see, one creature +2/+0, but our opponent concedes, so that was too much. I think we try to swap out the Street Wraith for the Architect, so we could fill our graveyard in case we gets exiled. Grisly Salvage, kind of nice. We need a Dragon Lord and the Courageous for haste. 2 living ends. Alright, let's try it. One Surveil land, 2 Trolls, Rumble. We do have a Marauder. Dragon Lord does nothing, Enduring Courage does nothing. It's a risky keep, but let's try it. Maybe we can resolve turn 3 living end, and then raise our opponent. Let's open up both graveyards here. Opponent did mulligan to 6 and keeps their hand. Okay, Stitcher Supplier, 2 creatures in the yard. We have a Fairy Macabre, that's good. We are looking for a land. That is a land. So we just have to keep that. A Shocken, a Boggart, Trawler, Undead Butler. Okay, mill more. Let's see what they get. Voidwalker. Alright. We will shock in this Disciple. Still looking for red mana. We do have the Troll we can Swamp Cycle with after Malevolent Rumble. We will We can pick up another Bloodbraid Marauder in case we have to living end again. Or just pick up the Boseiju. I think Boseiju is green man. Let's just be greedy and pick up a Boseiju. Our opponent boarded in Voidwalkers, they're swamp cycling the Stroll. The block their Stitcher Supplier. And then swamp cycle here. Get a Blood Crypt. And then take one. I think we should discard the Fairy Macabre and okay. They're sacking their Marauder to itself. Oh no, Stitcher Supplier, of course. Alright, I think we should discard Fairy to Troll and Husk Burster. Let's see what we draw, another Marauder. So we will just swamp cycle here. Get a Ruckus Theater. Chuck in the Blood Crypts. Go Marauder. Yep. Cast Living End. Living End on the stack. We will discard Fairy Macabre to the... Oh, this is also not nice, the Marauder. Just to the Husk Burster. And the Troll. And then, let's see. We can deal 4. We'll deal 4 to the Voidwalker. We'll sack this Bloodbraid Marauder to the Cursed Marauder. They could also sack Voidwalker to it. Have a bunch of triggers. We'll sack this thing. We can cast it with their Voidwalker. Just pass the turn. There goes my whole deck, opponent says. They took another Cursed Marauder. Any number of target opponents, each discards a card. Discard this Dragon Lord. Could have discarded the courage, get another type in the yard. But I might want to play the courage. Hello, Marauder. I'll just discard the courage now. Opponent seems to be stuck on 3 mana. No, they're not. We will sack the Bloodbraid. Could attack with a troll. We'll attack with the Overlord. Ruckus Theater. Another land. No. Can always Bloodbraid again. See what happens. So they might go after the trolls. Lose 6 creatures. Could shoot one of their Hollow Marauders. Or we could shoot them. I think we'll just shoot one of those Hollow Marauders. So we'd have a hard time killing one of our trolls, at least. We have to block. Block our fairy. We don't. Block our troll. We're gonna mill 9 cards, go down to 18. Trying to kill the Overlord. And they're going to kill 1 troll. Opponent is thinking because they could possibly go down 12 cards here. Go down to 15 cards in the graveyard. Alright, let's see. So, assign combat damage, Stitcher Supplier, Hollow Marauder. Yeah, it doesn't have trample, so that's fine. Then, oh, that was okay. That's fine too. So we get a bunch of triggers on the stack. Next turn we have lethal. Could possibly hardcast an Overlord. We could put more power into play. Could possibly deal. Opponent is saying, think I'm dead. So we'll back the Marauder. They go down to 4 life. And it says GG's. Play again. Not a super good hand, but we could rumble on turn 2. So let's keep it. We will surveil. We'll bin that and pass the turn. 2 types in the yard. Opponent plays a restless cottage. Okay. We draw a living end. Not so good. Let's rumble. We will pick up the Bloodbraid Marauder and pass the turn. So we do have Delirium. Our creatures will come back with haste. I think we should go Cathartic Fire. Bin another Overlord, another Enduring Courage. Hopefully pick up a land. So we could go Marauder. And that's not good. Could go Grizzly. Try to get a land. I think we should just try to go Cathartic Fire here. So we'll do Overlord and a Courage. If we don't find it, then we will just mount and cycle this. Unfortunately, grab a commercial district, surveil, another land perhaps, another Overlord, don't need that. Yeah, this is unfortunate. If our opponent has an endurance, then it's game over. Could go Overlord, we'll just go Marauder and see what happens. Cast the Living End. Know if our opponent will respond to that. Nope, then our opponent is dead. I'll just say yes to this. Put all the abilities. Just shoot them for 4. Shoot them for 4. And we will mill. Pick up the Oliphant. Opponent is down to 12. Will likely die. Assassin's Trophy. The Overlord, okay. Search for a basic land. Opponents still there. Just hit them for a lot of damage. Trigger Overlord. And Overlord, and we'll just give. Okay, opponent scoops. Hard to say what our opponent is on. Foundation Breaker could be useful. Defense Grid, in case they have an endurance. We should go down Living End. One Bloodthirsty Adversary. Try it like this. I'm sure our opponent will bring in endurances. Could board in some very macabre. Yeah, let's do that instead of the street wraith. Might go into a longer game here. Just one land. No, we cannot keep this. One land again. I'm not gonna risk that. To find a land now and a land cycler. We have a Bloodbraid Marauder. Salvage, Rumble. We will bottom the Enduring Courage. Probably the Grizzly. Because I want to see if they bring in any graveyard hate. Opponent is thinking. And down to 6 cards. Passes the turn. Good shock in the stomping ground, get a swamp. Spare a life total here. What is this at the beginning of your upkeep? Permanent. Okay, doesn't really seem to be that relevant. So, pick up a mountain and a blood crypt. Or stomping ground. No, there's no swamps. We'll pick up a mountain, forest. And then get a blood crypt of the troll. Shock in the blood crypts. Go rumble. Can put a street wraith into our hands. Possibly find a land cycler or a land. Yeah, let's try that. We have Delirium, we have the Marauder. Might want to find some more red mana actually, so we can cast the Cathartic Fire. Okay, we should have sacked this before. That's a bit stupid. Could have an endurance. Alright, range mind. That's good. Just cycle this. Hopefully pick up a land. Nope. Just get rid of the courage and the foundation breaker. Hopefully pick up another land. We do. Shock this in. Go fire. Well, it doesn't really matter anymore. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Just go living end. Could sack this now, but our opponent could draw into an endurance. We don't want that. Just leave it at this. Destroy our architects. We won't. library and our own library here. Draw a card and gain 3 life. This is the top of our library. Probably put this, put the elephant on top so we could shuffle the rest away. They will draw the verdant catacombs first, then the Bosagio, and then the ignoble hierarch. We won't destroy, we won't destroy. Opponent is dead. Skip this. Go to combat and swing.